I think one of the first things that business has to do is to understand that by saying that they're going to be green, they're perhaps promising a little bit more than they understand. Because green is now about tackling climate change, the loss of biodiversity around the world, the problems that our oceans are in, and then on top of that, social and political problems and so on. I think part of the answer to how does a business respond to the Green Swan agenda, it just has to think bigger. It has to think about the market conditions within which it operates and how it might help catalyze change, create change over time. And I think part of it is realizing that this isn't any longer just about risks and problems. It's about opportunities, market opportunities in particular. And some of those markets are going exponential. They're changing very, very fast indeed. You see that in solar, you see it in wind, you see it in batteries, you see it in electric vehicles, you see it in artificial intelligence. That is what the Green Swan agenda is largely about, exponential change and how you steer it in the right and greener direction. I think Turkey has not been a leader in the environmental and sustainability agenda. That is the reality. There have been individual companies that have been doing good things. But the interesting thing is when the change agenda itself changes, sometimes the best thinking and the best innovation comes from the edges of the system. I think Turkey, and I'm really struck by how many people, when you ask the question, who in the audience is from different sectors, a lot of people there were from innovation and technology. And so those people, I think, are really important in what comes. The second point is that a lot of the change will come in cities. We focus on business, we focus on finance, but cities is where a lot of the action is going to happen. So cities like Istanbul are well placed to do some of the right things if we can get the politics sorted out, because so often developers in the old reality build structures, infrastructures and so on, which are not sustainable. I'm excited about what's happening in cities, but the politics will be important. One of the sectors that is going to be quite challenged in all of this is cement. Turkey makes a lot of cement, and part of the reason for that is the production of cement and concrete produces huge amounts of carbon dioxide. I think we could see Turkish cement companies innovating and pioneering. At the moment don't look very likely. But in the short to medium term, I think areas like agriculture and food, to some degree textiles, because the fashion industry is waking up. How deep that goes is another question. But if you look at the major fashion shows, green, sustainability, regeneration, these are very much the themes of the moment. So I think textiles will be under a lot of pressure. Development of all sorts, particularly around tourism. Tourists are increasingly interested in at least being told nice stories about sustainability and regeneration and so on. So I think that's another sector that will change too. When I published the book first, Green Swans, I got people sending me their business cards from Indonesia, from the Philippines, different parts of the world, saying, I'm a green swan. And my answer was, well, that's very nice. They put it on their business card that they were a green swan. I think that's very nice, but individuals cannot be green swans. They can play into green swan market dynamics or social and political dynamics and so on. And what that means is not simply trying to stop things, but trying to encourage and support some of the innovative solutions to some of the really big problems that we face. Because if we continue bumping along in this incremental way, we're not going to solve these problems. We've got to go exponential. So dream and start to behave in a rather different way. And if your current employer, it could be the government, it could be a city, it could be a business, is not moving in that direction, either try from inside to change them or go somewhere else. In different countries, environment, nature, those sorts of things are now part of the curriculum, what young people are taught. In a way, that's not the problem. The problem that we have, the challenge, the opportunity, is not to simply teach young people, it's to teach older people, because very often older people have the wealth, they continue to vote in elections and so on, so they have power and influence, but their mindsets are still the old mindsets. So we've actually got to re-educate older people at the same time that we educate younger people. And one of the biggest challenges that we face is in business school. Business school's still infected by the old Milton Friedman idea that the only business of business is to make a profit and obey the laws where it makes sense to do so. I don't think that's relevant any longer. I think business schools have to giving MBAs or whatever it is, how to develop green swan solutions to the big problems that we face. And some of them are moving in that direction, but not enough. One of the initiatives we're working with is called The Future of Capitalism, and it was initially created by two business schools. One is in Japan, in Tokyo, and it's called Shizenkan University, and they describe themselves as a business school for the 22nd century. That's quite nice. But then also IESE in Spain. Those two business schools came together, and now they have business schools from Brazil, from India, from different parts of the world, Denmark, starting to work together to develop a new agenda. And the Green Swan message is very much part of that. I'm visiting professor I'm meant to be doing something at Harvard today, but I can't be there because of this. They've been slow to wake up, but I'm a visiting professor at 3 London universities, Imperial College, University College London and Cranfield. And the level of interest there it's changing. And it used to be that it was the students who were most interested, but now faculty are becoming a little bit competitive about it because the rankings of business schools and universities are starting to change. And they're building in green elements now into the scores that universities and business schools get. And I think that's where the real pressure will come from.